Hey friends, it's Ritz. Welcome back to TMITuesday. This is the show where I answer your guys' questions on a weekly basis. It can either be comments on the video, or you can also send me in real mail that we could open up here, and then it could like build up on stuff, and like things could happen, and it would be great. Also, real quick before we get started, spoiler alert: RitzPlays merch coming soon. That's about all you get to see for that. It's exciting. Waiting for the rest to come in so I can show them all off. Although I think I'm giving those to Boyfriendo, so. So without further ado, let's just jump into the first question. Shy Guy asks, how do you think you're going to handle the boatload of stuff from the fans? I think you overestimate the amount of people that are going to send me stuff. TMITuesday is actually not my most popular series, but I do it because I like talking with the community and having a more one-on-one engagement with you guys. So that's why I do it. So I don't think I'm going to get a lot of mail stuff, but when I do, I'll treasure it. The Flailing Melon asks if I can play more games with subscribers, and unfortunately, no, I don't really have that much time to play games outside of like when I'm actually working. So Friendo Fridays is like the go-to area to play games with me. So if you want to play games with me for whatever reason, then come hang out on Friendo Friday. Daniel writes and asks if I was the last person in the world and I heard a knock on my door, what would I do? Well, first off, I wouldn't have a door as the last person on Earth. All the doors would be non-existent because I would just take them off, because what's the point of having a door if there's nothing to keep out? I mean, maybe there's still snakes and animals and things that'll come and kill me, potentially. But, you know, I think that being a little bit more close with nature could help, and maybe it'll be my job to open or take off every single door that exists. It'll probably not happen before I die, but that's gonna be my goddamn legacy to the world that doesn't have any people. And man, I gotta think these things through better. Alikim B asks if my piercings got hurt or infected. Yes, definitely. The piercings that hurt the most to get pierced were my nipple rings and my septum piercing. Obviously, I don't have any of those left. This one got ripped out by my boyfriend who had a CPAP, which is like this thing that helps you breathe when you're sleeping. And then my nipple rings just never really healed properly for whatever reasons. My body rejected them. So they got pierced, and then they rejected, and slowly there was less skin holding them in. So now there's just these two big lines that are these giant scars on my nipples. So that's swell, I guess. Tanya Doberg asks, current shows, not anything specific. I watch Always Sunny. I just started watching Always Sunny recently, caught up. Took me a while. But I need to watch this season once it's out on demand somehow for me to pay the money and get it, or if I just sign up for cable, I don't know yet. But I want to watch Always Sunny, and otherwise I'm really not watching anything besides like Game of Thrones and Westworld, you know, like the big shows like that. Silicon Valley, I guess too, is up there, but yeah, I'm not a huge TV watcher. I don't have time. Oh, man, I haven't had cable in years, so it's been a while. Shawn Arthur asks, now that I'm taking written fan mail, will TMITuesday include me showing off any cool things fans send me outside of letters, or would it be in its own video? And anything fans send me, including letters or outside of letters or whatever, will be included in TMITuesday until it gets to a point where there's too much, if it gets to a point that it gets to be too much. I don't think it will be. I'm estimating about one piece of mail a month, maybe. That's a very generous estimation. But if we actually start getting a bunch for whatever reason, then I will probably have to do like monthly mail openings where it's like, we're going through all the mail, and then maybe I can sort stuff. And if we start getting too much, I'll just ask people if they want their stuff read on TMITuesday. They put a big TMI on the letter, on the front of the letter, or like on the box or whatever. You guys know, we'll figure it out down the line if that actually ends up being a thing. But if I don't need to, then it doesn't really matter now, does it? I asks, if I weigh 99 pounds and eat 1 pound of nachos, am I 1% nacho? My answer to that is this meme. Alexis Alvarado asks, Whataburger or In-N-Out? And man, that's a really tough question. I personally think both are kind of just okay. They're not like my favorite or my go-to. I think my favorite right now, at least for a while, was Five Guys. It was a pretty good go-to for a little bit better burger than usual. But in terms like Whataburger, I had it a couple times while I was here and I'm already over it. I'm already like, all right, cool, it's just another burger joint, whatever. It's not special. And I was been over In-N-Out for a while. It's fun if it's like 1 o'clock in the morning and you're driving back from a concert and you're trying to get home late and you need energy and food, then In-N-Out's great, but otherwise, whatever. Blue is such a calm color. Asks, if I was going to get fan art, what kind would I want? Basically, what do I want people to draw for me? Anything, really, literally any sort of fan art you want. It can be a stick figure and I'll still love it. I don't care. The fact that you put any time into doing anything for me is a huge, like, it just feels really good and really nice. So I always appreciate any sort of fan art that I get. Anytime I get fan art on either Tumblr or Twitter, I'll instantly reblog it or retweet it if I can find it. Tumblr's really dumb, which is one of the reasons I would rather people send them to me physically, because oh my god, Tumblr, for some reason, none of my tags work. If you search RitzPlays, you get like 15 things, and there's about 200 to 300 because I've reblogged them all and I saved them all, and I'm still missing some fan art, but I have a fan art folder on my computer which has 100 or so fan arts, 100 or 200 fan arts things printed out with the name of the person who did it, on which social media site I got it from, and the date as well. So I like having it all organized, and it's like my bad day go-to folder. So hopefully that answered your question. The Labyrinth8993 asks, am I going to do anything for South by Southwest? And no, I did not do anything for South by Southwest. I thought about it. I was invited out to see Snoop Dogg and Grandmaster Flash perform, but I had to say no because I had to stream and then to get on the flight to SF, which is tomorrow for me, but for you guys that was on Friday. Yeah, math days are hard when you're doing things advanced. Ali Burr asked what my favorite game of 2016 was, and that's a really tough question because in 2016 I decided to skip a lot of games. Actually, it was the end of 2015. We skipped Rainbow Six Siege, we skipped Overwatch, we skipped The Division, we skipped Watch Dogs 2. We skipped a lot of Ubisoft games, sorry. What else did we skip? We skipped Battlefield, we skipped Battlefront, we skipped, which might have been last year, I don't remember at this point. Time, or 2015, time blurs together. But we skipped basically every big launch that I was either like, I either don't have a group to play it, or I know I'm not gonna spend that much time on it. Like, I had a great time playing Wildlands, the beta that came out right before Wildlands launched, but I don't think I'm gonna pick up Wildlands because it'll probably be like Just Cause was for me. Really fun in short bursts, but as a whole thing, I'm not gonna get into it as much as I'd like to. However, there was one game which is slightly out of character for me that I think might be my favorite game for 2016, and that is Dark Souls 3. Let me just preface this by saying I've never beaten a Dark Souls game. Dark Souls 1, we got to see the Scaleless, which is pretty close near the end. I couldn't figure out how to beat the boss. I was, I think, 100 hours into the game at that point or something like that. I'd spent a lot of time. I was really bad. And I was also, back when I used to walk on a treadmill while streaming, that all was happening all together, and all of it, I was just like, nope, I'm done. We're not playing this. We'll come back some different time. We skipped Dark Souls 2 because everyone I knew advised against it. We played through Bloodborne a bit. We got through like 4 or 5 bosses to Bloodstarved Beast, but I was going to be playing with friends, and then the friends lost interest in playing the game, and I didn't really want to play the game solo, so I skipped it. But the Dark Souls 3 came out, and we got it a little early. We played it on Xbox One. We got it through the Xbox Japan store. It was a whole thing. So we played it a little bit early, and as hard as it was such a fun experience to start the game, first try the first boss, and then get destroyed through all the rest of the bosses and work my ass off until I finally beat the game, because when I finished the game, it was one of the best feelings I had in a long time. I felt so accomplished. I was like, I did it. I beat this goddamn game, and no one can say otherwise because it's done. So that's how I felt, and that's why that's probably my favorite game for 2016. Nicole Kelsey says, describe your perfect chill out 9. EX, mine's Netflix, ice cream, pizza, and sweets. Currently, my favorite way to have a chill out night or whatever is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on the projector, on the wall that's like right over there. You guys can't really see here, but I played over there and I sit on the couch and I just fucking zone out and play Zelda for like 6 hours. And then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, I should sleep. And then I go sleep, and then I get up and record and edit and stream, and then end my stream at like 11 or 12, and then I play Zelda from like 12 to 3 while my videos are rendering usually. And then if I'm able to stay up later, I'll play longer, but if not, I'm not. So Breath of the Wild is like my life right now. Minter Magic asks on Emo Tuesday what bands are going to be performing, even if they've broken up. So that's in reference to a stream that I did on Tuesday called Emo Night / Karaoke Night. I wanted to play through a bunch of songs on Rock Band. We played through a 69 song set plus some more. We had a bunch of technical difficulties. Oh my god, it was a thing. I sang and screamed my heart out pretty much the whole time that I knew the lyrics to the song. Some of the songs I didn't know very well, but were like songs that I knew people would like. And it was fun. It was awesome. We played through a bunch of Fall Out Boy. We played, I couldn't find MCR. I need to go back through Rock Band and see what else they have. But I'd like to do shorter Rock Band. I mean, I played Rock Band for 4 hours plus, standing up jumping around. I was so exhausted the next day. So we'll see. We'll see what happens for the next one. It's probably going to be in April. I think I want to do them once a month because there's no way in hell I can do streams like that every goddamn week. My was so dead. I was the most dead I've ever been in my entire life. Nobody's Dogma asked my least favorite world in Kingdom Hearts is, and that is easily Atlantica in both Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. They're the worst. Maybe a close second is Monstro from Kingdom Hearts 1, just because I always got lost in that level, and I still do. The way that the levels, it's like you come through a door this way and this way, but you can't go back through that door because you fall down and there's those other doors, you have to find the way around. I'm doing a little bit better now that I'm an adult, but oh my god, as a child, that level was so confusing, but at least it wasn't goddamn Atlantica. Whew. Morgan Freeman asks, who's my favorite superhero? And that is easily Robin / Nightwing. Dick Grayson is my shit from the Flying Graysons. Don't care, he's the best. Yeah. MTT fan asks, why is the earth flat? It's not. Roxy K sends us a story, so we're gonna do story time real quick. There once was a great prince. His name was Shawn, but he didn't want to be the king his father wanted him to be. His father wanted him to marry a princess of the neighboring kingdom, but he loved only one. He would escape from the castle, dressed to blend in with the people. He would go by the name of Ritz and go to the farms and ask if he could do some free work. At one of these, he met his lover William. They would meet late at night in the woods between their homes. Ritz asked William as they lay under a tree looking at the stars, "Can I tell you something that might change everything?" William replied tenderly while snuggling closer to Ritz, "Of course, you can tell me anything." Ritz sat up and looked sorrowfully at William. "I'm not Ritz." William sat up with him. "Who are you then?" "I'm Shawn." She wanted to be called something else, nothing wrong with that. "No, I'm Prince Shawn?" Ritz couldn't bear to think of what William would say. There was a long silence, as both of them thought what would happen. "Why are you here then? Why didn't you tell me sooner? Don't you trust me?" Ritz could see how he'd hurt William. With hesitance, Ritz said, "I wanted to, I thought you would look at me different if I told you." "Are you telling me because you need to get married and can't be playing around with peasants like me anymore?" No, I want to run away with you." William looked shocked and surprised. "Why?" "I don't love her. I love you. But how will we live? What will happen to the farm, the kingdom?" "Do you care?" Ritz said, knowing he didn't like living on the farm. What about..." Ritz interrupted him. "It doesn't matter. I know a guy. We can go far away from here where no one will know us. And no one will judge us." William embraced Ritz. And they made plans to leave at the end or to be continued. I don't know. Thank you for that quick story, Rox K. I appreciate that. That was actually pretty cool. And it wasn't like overtly sexual like some of the other stories I've found of myself. So thank you for that. Phoenix Moon asks, "I'm wondering what are all the piercings you would want to get?" I still really think I want my industrial up here. I think that'd be really fun. It just, the problem with that is the healing time. If you have headphones, like studio headphones like I use for work, that's really bad when you're trying to heal a giant injury that can take 6 months to heal. So I'd have to use earbuds or something and so that's kind of one that's like later down the road. And I can't really think of any other piercings I'd want. I had this pierced briefly and these pierced briefly, as I mentioned earlier, and would never do any of those again, probably. So, yeah. Daniel Ryan asks, "What was the one game that turned me into a gamer?" And that's a tough question. Probably Kingdom Hearts would turn me into like a diehard gamer. Before that, I'd play like my Marios or whatever, but I'd also like go outside and do other things. But when Kingdom Hearts came out, man, I stopped everything and just played video games and just played that video game. I remember my babysitters yelling at me because I wouldn't go to bed because all I wanted to do was play that game. And now here I am. So, you can blame it all on Kingdom Hearts. Kinetic asks, "What is the grossest looking thing you have ever eaten and it turned out to be delicious?" Nothing, because I'm such a picky eater that I don't really eat shit. McLovin asks a loaded question known as, "Who is a better mod, Dax or Brett?" It's Ritzbot is the best mod. So, fuck yourself, Logan. I'm not gonna pick between the two of them. Bethany Spence says, "I'm looking for book recommendations. I'll read pretty much anything, but some of my favorites are sci-fi. Any suggestions?" Not really. I haven't really read a book in a very, very long time. I used to read a bunch as a kid. I read all of the Cirque du Freak series, the Demonata series by Darren Shan. I read a bunch of Stephen King, and then I just stopped as I got older. Most recently, I read the novelized play Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, and that was pretty good, but other than that, I read it because it's Harry Potter. Other than that, I haven't read a goddamn book in forever. That's another thing that's really hard to sit down and read. To be fair, I sat down and read that book in an hour. Or maybe 2 hours. It was one sitting, is all I remember. I just started it and I finished it and was like, I don't know where time went, but we're done. It's cool. And our last question comes from Auto Rocket, and they ask, if you could tour with any band, which would it be, and what would you do for the band? Merch, sound, guitar, drum, bass, tech, etc. A singer, probably. I've sold merch before. I wouldn't want to do that again. It's not the best, most glamorous aspect of being on tour. And yeah. But honestly, I think I'd be much better off being a songwriter. I write songs constantly. I write like little short verses or choruses pretty much every day or every other day. An example of a couple of the songs that I wrote a while ago that I really liked, one was, I am feeling so stressed, I am under duress, I don't think I'll be alright, because every day it's the same old story, all these people out here are fighting for glory with no sense of self or sanity, there's no trace of their humanity. Another one was, these people around me, they're not what they should be, they're leading their lives all wrong. And I can't help but notice their sadness and hopeless, and how can I stay strong when I'm surrounded by my failures and I'm surrounded by my flaws? I gotta pick myself back up again, and I'm afraid I might be caught. This cold vacant silence consumes me like violence, and I am not alright. But if I pick up the pieces, confirm all my thesis, I'll march on towards the light. When I'm surrounded by my failures and I'm surrounded by my flaws, I have to pick myself back up again, and I'm afraid I might be caught. So that's some of the stuff that I've written. I have no formal training about songwriting. I know nothing about music theory or anything. I just write stuff that I think sounds good. And yeah, it's mostly just freestyles, and then change some stuff so it's a little less awful. But most of those are pretty much, I freestyled it, and I wrote a first pass, and that's what those are. Those haven't even been like turned into anything. So maybe if I get like tutored in how to do stuff good, songwrite words well, I could get hired, and that'd be great. Anyways, friendos, that's going to do it for this week's TMI Tuesday. If you did like the video, make sure to leave a like and comment with your questions down below for whatever you guys want. You can also send in your real mail to the address that is listed in the description as well. As always, friendos, my name is Ritz. We've got secret stuff coming out soon, and I'll see you guys soon.
Who is this next to me? Ritz gave him the, wait, you gave him the slip, dude.
It's because we dress you up in a T-Rex costume and just rub you so hard that